supplement where you have all the houses you flick through. And the last few houses we actually bought, we found there, because they were in suburbs we actually didn't look for. We actually didn't really look. And then when we were selling places, we actually thought, everyone says really stupid advertise in a newspaper, stupid. You advertise online and people look what they... But I mean, if I want to buy a house in Chifley, I look in Chifley. I don't look at a place, say, in Vaniasa, no? Because that's Taganov, it's not in my area. But on the other hand, when I flick through a thing and say, oh, there's this beautiful place for the same price as a Chifley place, and it has a swimming pool and a new kitchen, that's beautiful, the garden is done. I wouldn't have looked for that house. I would never have found it. And I think that is really generally the problem. Online, you get what you're looking for. When you look for travel, you get the place, you type in Rome, but you don't get Naples, because you didn't look for Naples. But if you have a catalogue from a travel agent, Naples so close to Pompeii, that's a great hotel. Never would have booked it, because I was looking at something different. And it's the same when you look online for cars, or if you flick through a car magazine. So I think that is, to me, a real big problem. I think it's changing. I think we have more people now looking only and wanting to get what they want. We see that when we look at opinions. People get the news they're interested in, which are in their area, which is outside there they don't get, they don't want that. So to me that is a real problem in advertising, because advertising, you see things you didn't look for. The other day at one time we ordered some, what was it, like a glue spray we had a leak in the roof, and they advertised this stuff, you spray it on and it seals it.
Yes.
You would have seen it when you watch enough TV. I would have never even knew it existed. So it came up while I watched mainstream TV. My husband is a person, as soon as an ad comes, he turns the TV station off, drives me mad. I actually like watching ads, I like to see new things. I must be the only person in the world who doesn't turn the TV off. But that's why I'm in marketing, I suppose.
Yes, absolutely. And I think you raised a valid point. Once again, the push and the pull, both works together. Like, so for example, you would not find a certain thing that you're looking for, but maybe in the back of your mind, you are looking for an offer like that, and it just appears when it is right in front of your face. Then you think about, hang on a second, I thought about that holiday, let's not go to Merimbula, and let's not stay in this hotel, let's go somewhere else, like, just because maybe we have a better option. So
and I think it happens a little bit like Facebook advertising now as well. I scroll through and suddenly I see, there's some jewelry, I haven't got that. There is a new collection of Blue Illusion. And there's a face cream which will make me look like 35 again.
Yes.
So
these social media companies are getting better at listening to the customers, and they're just offering more and more customer solutions. So I think in future we are likely to see a reflection of ourselves and the things that we want in our social media feeds. So that will be the future of advertisement, and then that actually poses a serious threat when it comes to. So then businesses will have to create content only for social media, and now most of the businesses have started doing that. If you look at Toyota and Apple and all these businesses, they're very content heavy, and a lot of digital information provided in their website as well as their social media site, and most of the business, I think, that's my personal opinion, will go down that path. And
I think they will, and I think also getting back to branding, your customers actually promote the product for the business. When we look at the role of those influencers, I don't quite get that, but young girls who put some makeup on and then sales just go through the roof, or wear the bikini top.
Mm.
You know, older women who prance along a mirror. I tried for you before you bite. I thought that was really interesting. You know, t- bigger woman and try and get obviously the
Absolutely.
clothing from different companies and shows how that looks on a, you know,
Yeah.
what size you should have and how you can style it. So I think that those influences will become
Yes.
a new
Norm.
norm.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you buy, cars or
Yeah, definitely.
watches or toilet paper are not there. That's quite
But,
interesting.
Yeah. So just also wanted to ask you, so whenever it comes to promotional mix, yes, obviously there are traditional advertising and there are digital advertising, but one underrated aspect of the promotional relationships is PR or the public relations. Do you think still holds its fort or
Yes, because I think media has less time. I mean, when
Mm.
you're looking even TV, you know, there's half on shows like Current Affairs, not half or whatever percentage, you know, there is Aldi and compare Aldi versus Coles and Woolworths, their weekly specials. You know, that is obviously from PR. Other products, how they can be used, how they make life easier. I mean, that's, you know, and when we're looking at all those shows like The Block, where always the Coke stands with
Absolutely.
a label in front of the fridge, or they eat just their, what did they eat? Light and easy food only.
Yeah.
You know, so I
KFC,
think,
Big Bash. So
yeah. So there's a lot of product placement, which is it's not directly PR, but I think the media has less staff, so they're looking for things. I mean, you know, the university has a whole department to promote, hopefully, and then it's picked up by the Canberra Times about, you know,
Definitely.
interesting story about the staff members, students, all sorts of stuff. I mean, graduation. How does graduation get into the Canberra Times and the stories? Because it's written by the PR department here.
Absolutely.
And people read it and say, yeah, those people made it, they had a hard time.
And I think when it comes to small businesses, and especially if you look at the Canberra businesses, this is one area I think they really need to focus on, just putting their name out there and putting their name in the media and in different government organizations or getting attached to charities. I think there's a lot of room for improvement in this particular domain. Yeah. Would you agree with me?
Yeah, I agree totally. My first job actually before I came to the university in Australia was actually in PR, in the ACT government. And I think my best piece was once page 3, which is the bar page 1, and that was Craig Doobie, who was the minister for, I don't know what he was actually for, released fingerlings, which are little fish in Lake George. And there was a full page article with a photo of the fish, which was actually generated, you know, from the PR release. And why did it get to page 3? Because there was nothing happening. No murder, no scandal, no break-ins, nothing. So the biggest news on that day would have been about, how long ago, more than 30 years ago, was your fingerling released, little fish released in Lake George, and a whole page about this stuff. So you can be lucky.
Yes, absolutely.
Sometimes you can be lucky. And by the way, he released those fingerlings literally every 3 months. And usually it was an article this big, fingerlings released in Lake George by Craig Doobie, end of story. So it never got any traction ever, except once. So I think PR, that's what I'm trying to say, is you can be lucky if you time it right. It has the right thing, you know. For example, the Canberra Times on Sundays always like stories about animals, rabbits or whatever, cats. I hadn't seen those cats and rabbit stories. They were every Sunday, some animals, because people like to feel good on Sundays.
Okay.
Put this on Tuesday in, no chance.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, that was a long time ago, but
But
stuck
yeah.
in my mind.
Thank you for sharing this story. So class, like we are pretty much in the end of our today's discussion series. So today, predominantly, obviously, I'm sure, as you have, as you often ask for, we wanted to provide you a blend of theory and practice. So in our lecture, we have gone through the product, price, placement, and promotion. And it's such a pity that you don't get to see me during the lecture or don't get to interact with us during the lecture. So this is my effort, and I just try to provide you that interaction through these discussion series. So hope you have enjoyed today's discussion, which we have talked about a very important element of the marketing unit, which is marketing mix. And obviously we had Petra here today who shared her own experience related to different element of marketing mix. Now, one last question to you, Petra, not a question actually, any suggestions for our students? So any words of advice or words of wisdom?
I think what you learn in your marketing mix, the next thing you need to actually apply it when you get a job. So that means you are the product. It's a little bit like Latina Fresh, the pasta at the end of the aisle. Why do you pick that? Why would an employer pick you? So you need to make sure that you actually take your brand, that you have differentiation, you know who your competitors are and what you actually can provide your employers with. So I think it's the same thing, promotion. No? First thing, everyone, I want you to do a LinkedIn account. Do a little video, talk about what you have, about what we talked about, how important the marketing mix is, how well you understand it. So you need to set yourself apart from the rest. And I tell that always my students, and I think there weren't even 10% who did that. And when we look now what employers are looking now for, apparently TikTok videos is now the thing where you in a minute, the good old elevator pitch where you need to get across why they should employ you and not the person sitting beside you. Because you all will have a degree. Okay, tick. That doesn't put you apart. Okay, you may have some good grades, good. You may have not so good grades. Okay, then you need to have something else so people don't concentrate on the good grades because you have something which is even better than that. So engagement is so important. Join the clubs so you have something to say. I'm part of the communication students, marketing club, accounting students, whatever it is. So you need to really create your own brand. That's, I think, my message.
I think that's a valuable message. Create your own brand and try to differentiate yourself, just like the way I always say that businesses should try to differentiate themselves. For you, I think that's a valuable piece of advice. So thank you for listening to today's conversation. Next week I will come back with someone else. Till then, goodbye. Take care. Bye-bye.